The ballroom smelled like champagne and winter roses. String lights hung from the ceiling, casting soft gold across 200 faces y half recognized. My sister's colleagues, our parents, friends, distant relatives who'd flown in for the occasion. Madison's promotion to senior vice president had been announced 3 weeks earlier, and tonight was her victory lap. He arrived wearing the navy dress he'd bought specifically for this event. Not too flashy, not too plain. I'd learned early that standing out in my family only invited correction. My mother spotted me first. Her smile flickered, then reset. Emily. You're here. Of course I'm here, he said quietly. He bowed to me seat. She nodded, already looking past me toward Madison, who stood near the entrance in a champagne-colored gown, greeting guests like a bride at her own wedding. My father stood beside her, beaming. He approached slowly, holding the small gift he'd wrapped that morning. Madison saw me. Her smile sharpened. Emily, she said, loud enough for the people around her to hear. At least you saw it up for once. Laughter rippled through the group. Light, performative. The king that says we really on the joke. He forced a smile. Congratulations, Maddie. She took the gift from my hands without looking at it and handed it to someone behind her. Find her a seat somewhere, she said to the event coordinator, waving vaguely toward the back of the room. My seat was behind a marble pillar, tucked between a service door and a potted fern. From where he sat, he could barely see the stage. He could hear everything, too. The speeches started an hour in. My father went first. Madison has always been exceptional, he said into the microphone, his voice welling with pride. From the time she was 5 years old, we knew she was destined for greatness. Valedictorian. Full ride scholarship. And now, at 28, the youngest SUVP in her company's history. Applause thundered through the room. He didn't mention me. Not once. I'd graduated summa cum laude from the same university. I'd been working in financial consulting for 6 years, managing portfolios worth millions. But my achievements had always been treated like background noise. Pleasant, but not worth discussing. Madison took the stage next. She looked radiant under the spotlight, her confidence filling every corner of the room. I want to thank everyone who believed in me, she began. My parents, who sacrificed so much. My mentors at the firm. And of course, my amazing team. She paused, scanning the room. Her eyes landed on me, Alfiden behind the pillar. And I guess I should thank my sister for finally showing up to something that matters. She laughed. The room laughed with her. Something small but irreversible broke inside me then. I stood up slowly, smoothed my dress, and walked toward the gift table near the stage. I placed a plain manila folder beside the towering cake, 3 tiers of fondant perfection topped with sugar flowers. Then I walked out. No one stopped me. No one asked if it was okay. I stood in the hallway outside the ballroom, my hands shaking slightly as I leaned against the cool wall. I could still hear the music, the chatter, the clinking of glasses. I talked about leaving entirely. Getting in my car and driving home to my quiet apartment with its view of the city, where no one diminished me, where my silence was peace instead of erasure. But I didn't leave. I waited. Instead, the toasts continued. I heard my mother's voice next, saccharine and proud, talking about Madison's natural gifts and incredible work ethic. Then came a voice I didn't recognize, deep, authoritative. Madison's boss, I assumed. Before we cut the cake, I said, I noticed someone left a folder here. Let me use it. Silence. Alone, stretching silence that made my heart pound. Then, Madison, can you come up here for a moment? I heard the rustle of fabric, the click of heels on marble. What is this? Her voice was tight, confused. These are financial records, her boss said slowly, clearly reading aloud. Bank statements. Payment confirmations. It says here that someone named Emily Harper has been making payments on behalf of Madison Harper for the past 4 years. My stomach flipped. Rent payments, I continued. Car payments. Credit card debt totaling $37,000. Student loan payments. What, Madison, I talked you at a full scholarship? I did. Madison's voice cracked. I don't know what this is. There are also records here showing payments made to your parents' mortgage, her boss said, his tone shifting from confused to cold. Over $86,000 in total, paid by Emily Harper. And a copy of an email thread between Madison and Emily, where Madison explicitly asks Emily not to tell anyone about the financial support. The room had gone silent. You could have heard a pin drop. Emily, my mother's voice, distant and shrill. Where is Emily? He pushed open the ballroom door and stepped inside. 200 faces turned toward me. Madison stood frozen on stage, her face drained of color. My father's mouth unopened. My mother looked like she'd seen a ghost. I'm right here, he said quietly. Madison's boss held up the folder. Did you compile this? He did. And is it accurate? Every page. A flip through it slowly, his expression darkening. Madison, you told us during your interview process that you were financially independent. Self-sufficient. You even mentioned it in your promotion review as evidence of your discipline and responsibility. I am, Madison stammered. I used needed help sometimes. Help? He said, my voice steady now, louder than I'd ever spoken in front of my family. I paid your rent for 3 years while you built your career. I cleared your credit card debt twice. I covered the student loans you lied about having paid off. I sent money to mom and dad so they could keep the house after dad's business failed. My father's face went red. My mother's hand flew to her mouth. And tonight, he continued, you seated me in the pillar. You mocked me in front of everyone here. You thanked everyone except the person who made all of this possible. Madison's legs seemed to buckle. She grabbed the edge of the tablet to steady herself. You lied on your application, her boss said, his voice like steel. You lied during your review. And apparently, you been taking credit for a financial stability you never actually achieved. No, Madison's voice broke. That's not, Emily, tell them. Tell them what? He said. That you begged me not to say anything because it could ruin your image? That you promised you'd pay me back and never did? That every time I tried to set boundaries, Mom and Dad told me I was being selfish. My mother stepped forward. Emily, this is not the time. Then when is the time? He turned to face her. When you told me to give Madison my college fund because she needed it more? When you asked me to skip my own graduation so you could afford Madison's senior trip? When was it supposed to matter? Tears were streaming down Madison's face now, black mascara streaking her cheeks. Her perfect champagne dress looked suddenly heavy, wrinkled at the hem. Her boss closed the folder with a sharp snap. We'll be discussing this on Monday, Madison. For now, I think it's best if you excuse yourself. Please, Madison whispered, but they already turned away. The room remained silent as Madison stumbled off the stage, my mother rushing to her side. My father stood frozen, staring at me like he was a stranger. He turned and walked toward the exit. This time, someone called after me. Ms. Harper. He stopped. Turned. A woman in her 50s approached me, her expression keen but serious. I'm Margaret Chen. I work in Madison's department. She extended her hand. What you used did talk, Kerry. He shook her hand, unsure what to say. For what it's worth, she continued, a lot of us suspected something was off. The inconsistencies in her story. The way she talked about money. She paused. You deserved better than this. Something loosened in my chest. Not triumph. Relief. Thank you, he said softly. She nodded and walked back inside. He drove home that night with the windows down, letting the cooler wash over me. My phone buzzed relentlessly. Texts from my mother, my father, even Madison. He turned it off. When he got home, he poured a glass of wine and stood at my floor-to-ceiling windows, watching the city lights flicker in the distance. He didn't feel victorious. He didn't feel angry. He just felt free. The truth is, you don't owe anyone a smaller version of yourself used to keep the peace. Real love don't demand your silence. Real family don't erase you to make someone else's scene brighter. I'd spent years holding my family together while they slowly dismantled me. That ended tonight. 3 days later, I received an email from Madison's company. They wanted to offer me a consulting contract. Margaret had recommended me. The pay was significant. The respect, even more so. Madison called once more after that. I didn't answer. Some bridges need to burn so you can finally stop crossing them. If you've ever been the invisible one, the one who gave everything and got nothing back, know this: walking away isn't a cruelty. It's survival. And sometimes, the loudest thing you can do is let your silence speak for itself. Tell me, have you ever had to walk away from family to save yourself? Where are you listening from?